Bingo. All right. Shalom, shalom, family. The True Image of God, Part 2. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a space where we talk about all things cultural and all things ancestral. Okay? Because I feel like knowing thyself is knowing God, and knowing God, you can make the most of this lifetime. Okay? And so, before we get into this presentation today, it's going to be a part 2 of my last one. So if you haven't watched my last presentation already, you should, so that way you can understand everything that I'm going to get into today. Okay. And the last thing I just want to mention is you can head over to my apothecary, Sunchild Apothecary. I offer dream services, okay, dream interpretation. I dispel bad dreams, okay, and I also help people manifest positive dreams, okay. And my partner, she offers tarot services. She offers astrology services, okay. She does spell work and all of that good stuff. So you guys can head over there. I'm going to leave the link in the description box after this video, okay. And we will be uploading crystal jewelry very, very soon. I'm excited for that. I'll keep you guys updated, okay. Without further ado, though, we can get into this presentation for today. Let me just sip some of my water first, because we're going to get into some pretty serious stuff, okay? Now, I know some of you guys are looking at this picture of Baphomet, and I know it's spooking some of you guys and scaring you guys to your core, but I promise you, after I'm done this presentation, you're not going to see Baphomet or the devil in the same way, okay? Because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but everything that we've been taught in school is backwards, okay? But I'm going to explain all of that to you, so let's get into it. The first slide, we're going to be talking about history, okay, or his story. What we consider to be true or historical fact is no more than the victor's narrative. In fact, the etymology of the word history means narrative of the past. There is a fine distinction between fact and truth. The etymology of fact is an action or deed. The etymology of truth is that which is unchanging. Facts can easily be painted out to be truth, but all facts definitely aren't truth, okay? So you must understand this distinction. A fact can be, I did a stream today, but that does not necessarily mean that everything I did in the stream was genuine, was truthful. You see what I'm saying? So fact and truth is two different things, okay? And people misconstrue that. They say, well, the fact says this, but the facts isn't always true, okay? Facts just mean something that was done, somebody that passes a law. That's a fact. But sometimes the laws that people pass are not genuine or benevolent for people. See what I'm saying? So you have to draw the fine line between those two words right there, those two meanings, okay? Now, what people must also understand is history is politics. Accounts of truth over time is often twisted for control purposes. The one who dictates historical narratives, he himself can become like God, okay? Most people don't understand that, but I talk about it all the time. History and politics is related. The reason why is because it's like a domino effect, okay? You start from one place, you push one domino, and it continues to topple over. It's the same thing. The reason why things are the way that they are today with the system in America and with other systems around the world is because of historical events that happened in the past, okay? Events that happened in the past that led up to now. And so different politicians, they take advantage of that, okay? And a lot of politicians, which I have observed, a lot of them actually have been born into power, and a lot of things has not changed since certain people that was in power with hideous agendas, okay? They've raised their children in similar ways, and now these people that are in power, they're just kind of keeping the ball going. A lot of them does not have our best interests, okay? It's like being you're an entrepreneur as a politician. Okay, are you really? A lot of politicians are just in it for people's votes, but they don't really. A lot of them don't really put in the work, put in the time, and make sacrifices. Okay, because a lot of them are scared to make sacrifices because it's not about. They understand that it's not about making everybody happy, so they're willing to make a lot of people suffer for their agendas. Okay, but that goes to show you how, again, history and politics is interrelated, okay? Because we know that civilizations stretch far back into the past, okay? There's always been kings and queens, and the kings and queens tell the people what to believe, okay? The visors and all of the public speakers and the people in the public eye in the ancient civilizations, they told the people what to believe. And now, if you can switch narratives, change certain things around, you can control the people. Because if you control the mind, you can control the people. Okay? And we have to understand, you know what? I think that's in the next slide. Sometimes I be getting too ahead of myself. I get really excited when I get into this stuff. So. All right, next slide. Unqualified teachers. World history is African history. Yet the black man relies on European education system to inform him on his past. The problem is African culture is foreign and ancient. And while ancient European science is modern and flawed, I made a mistake there. The truth is, scholars do not understand our mystical practices, the intelligence of our ancestors, our biological makeup and rich past. Since they are unaware of our role in the origins of civilization, they overlook our past, demonize it, belittle it, and attribute it to other races, okay? Most people don't understand that world history is African history, okay? Every early civilization, you will find traces and remnants of so-called African people. The reason why I say so-called is because Africa actually comes from a man, I believe his name was Africus. It was one of the conquerors and explorers. I think he was a Muslim man that came into Africa. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. Okay, but just search up the origin of the name. Matter of fact, let's do that together. Africa word origin. The root word of Africa. Okay, so it looks like there are seems to be a couple different interpretations of where the name Africa came from, but that's not important. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the landmass Africa is not called Africa, but there's many different tribes on the African landmass, okay, that goes by different names. They don't call themselves Africans. A lot of them call themselves Africans today because that's the name that they've been given, and so they identify as that. So, people can understand, but they also they most definitely first identify with their tribal name. Okay, and this is where it gets confusing, because when you say that Africans were here and over here and over here and over here, a lot of people don't, it's like, what tribe was in these places? Okay, because when people think Africa, they think of the whole landmass, but they don't understand that Africa is huge, and there's like so many different tribes in Africa, hundreds of thousands of tribes in Africa that all speak languages. Some are close to each other and some are very different from each other, okay? And all of them have different migrational paths. They have different paths, okay, when it comes to migration and where they've been, okay? However, if we look at, again, early civilizations all around the world, we will find their mythology and culture. And I showed this in my last presentation. Okay, and I make videos about this all the time on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You know, you'll find a lot of the Egyptian culture amongst the Mesoamerican culture, right? Like Xolotl, the dog guide of the dead, and then you have Anubis, the god, the dog guide of the dead. Then you have Sobek, right, the Egyptian crocodile god, and then you have Sapakli, the Aztec crocodile god. Okay, and then you have it just goes on and on and on. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of the examples. Same thing with Europe. In Norse mythology, you'll find a lot of their gods, mirror gods in the Yoruba tradition. Even in Turkey, right? There's a god in the Yoruba, in the Orishas, right? The Yoruba gods. They're called Orishas. And one of them is called Yemaya, right? And the Turkish people, they have an ancient culture which goes back some 10, 20, 30,000 years. And one of their gods, one of their main gods is called Yemai. And she's the mother of children. And Yemaya, in the Yoruba Yoruba tradition, she's the mother of children. And she is half human and half serpent-like. Okay? So you will find our culture literally, I promise you, all over the world because it started with us. We are some of the most ancient people on this planet. Okay? And according to science, we're made up of prokaryotic cells which don't come from the earth. Okay? And other races are actually, they don't have prokaryotic cells. They have eukaryotic cells. Okay? And we are again very, very ancient people, and we do not come from this planet, and our ancestors have always said that. Not just the Dogon. Okay? Not just the people of Kemet. Okay? Not just the Israelites. But pretty much you'll find a lot of cultures on the African, a lot of ethnic groups on the African landmass that will tell you that we did not start here. Okay? But we came here. And when we came here, we were already pretty much, or you'll find two versions of the story. I'm gonna be transparent with you. Some cultures will say that, you know, the gods created us, and then, you know, we went to a whole nother planet, and then we came back here. Or sometimes you'll hear another version of the gods came here, created us, blessed us with civilization. Okay, but either way, our ancestors don't associate with this planet. They associate with other planets in the galaxy. Okay, now we can move forward. The way we are meant to learn has always been by going within and connecting with the ancestors. We are very powerful melanated beings, okay? That's the truth. The reason why I say we are meant to go within ourselves is because our consciousness, it does not forget anything, okay? There's a collective consciousness which we're all tapped into. A lot of this stuff which I've learned and I've shared with you guys, it did not take hours of researching to come up with a lot of these realizations. They actually came through my dreams. They came through meditation. Okay, they came through what's it called? Means like that. Okay, praying to my ancestors, asking them to enlighten me. Okay, and then once they gave me the gems and the jewels, then I search it up in research. And then I can see exactly what they're talking about. Okay, because our ancestors, they are present in us. We are them. Their cells are inside of us. Okay, so we have their information. Cells actually store memory and information. This is the reason why when we are born, some of us are born with what's it called, health health issues that has been passed down to us. Cells store trauma, stores information, okay? And so we can tap into some of those memories. And that's the easiest way to know truth. That's the easiest way to know where you come from. Is to go inside, not outside. Because our ancestors always have been connected with nature, always been spiritual. We've never needed no other race to come and to civilize us and to give us our gods to believe and think. We never needed that. Matter of fact, that has actually, made us fall in consciousness. Let's move forward. Self-hatred. That brings us onto the topic of self-hatred. The ancient esoteric knowledge practices of our ancestors has been demonized by the church. The most prevalent religion today is Christianity because it established its weight in blood by massacring our ancestors on all different land masses. Okay? This has implanted fear in our elders of their ancestral practices. We've always had a strong connection to nature, spirit. We've always known about the God who came to earth and created us. We've always known the forbidden arts such as metalworking, botany, warfare, building, advanced mathematics, astronomy, controlling the weather, etc. Okay? That has always been our customs and traditions. Okay? When we talk about the book of Enoch, it was kept by the Ethiopians, right? And they consider it non-canonical, but it goes word for word with the scriptures in the Bible. The reason why it's considered non-canonical because the people who are considering it non-canonical are not, the Hebrews are not their ancestors. Those are European peoples. And those are also, people from Central Asia, from the Caucasus Mountain region. Okay? But those are not the descendants of the Hebrews. Okay, the Israelites are the Bantu people. Okay, don't believe me? All of the information is out there. You can research that for yourself. Okay, matter of fact, maybe I might do a presentation on it, but to be honest, I thought this is such common knowledge that I would feel like that I shouldn't even have to do a presentation on it. Okay, but anyway, also when we talk about Quetzalcoatl, right, the Aztec flying serpent who blessed the Aztec people with civilization. Okay, again, the first people of North and South America was African people, and you will find that the Mesoamerican culture's mythology, it matches perfectly with Egyptian mythology and also Sumerian mythology. And Sumerian mythology was actually brought from East Africa. Okay, and you also find that our language is very close. Matter of fact, I believe it's related. You'll find the Urdu Aztecan language family, the Semitic language family, and the Egyptian language is related with each other. Okay. Now, when we talk about the Hebrew language is an Afro-Asiatic language. Okay. The alphabet was created by the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are Canaanite people. Canaan descended from Ham. Ham means black. That's why the people of Kemet call themselves Kemet. They call the land Kemet. Chemet, right? It just means the black land. Okay? Ham is Africa. East Africa, okay? Pretty much, North and East Africa. Or some people are associated with the whole landmass of Africa. Okay, so that's why you'll find people, the languages in East Africa, it's closely related to the Hebrew and Semitic languages because it's an Afro-Asiatic language, right? And then Canaan is related. Canaan's brother is Egypt, Mizraim, right? So you'll find that the Egyptian language is very similar to the Hebrew language. Like if we take Ankh, for example, right? If you remove the N, it would be Ach, right? Now, you'll notice that they hold the Ankh up to, you'll see a lot of carvings with the Ankh being held up to the nose because it's the breath of life. Ankh represents life, right? And life is represented by breath, right? And if you look at the Hebrew word for breath or life is ruach, right? Ruach, right? And you will find a lot of similar words, again, that are related to each other. But they have confused us. They have turned us away from our ancestral practices like herbalism and astronomy, okay? And building our temples and these kinds of things, and they told us it was evil, right? And they put fear in our elders and cut the cord with our ancestors and changed our practices. But these are our practices. This is by no means evil. Again, we were just very advanced and they could not understand us. Okay, a lot of people couldn't understand us. And if we go far back, right? Like you'll see the Sumerians. You'll see some of them, they have blue eyes. They're mixed with some East African ethnic groups and some, Central Asian ethnic groups, which is why you'll see they had curly hair. Okay, they look mixed. They don't look like modern day European people. Okay, and you will see that again, their mythology, it mirrors our mythology in Africa. Okay, and you will see again that the different cultures, right, that branched off from our people, they took our culture. And then going forward much later into the future, around the time of the rise of the church and everything, then they started to demonize our culture. Again, our culture can be found all around the world, even if later, a lot of mutations happen and then you find different races and everything. Their ancestors still goes back to our ancestors. Okay, the black woman can create every other race, but no other race can create the black woman. We must understand that. Okay, but basically they stole our culture. Then later they demonized our culture because we are an advanced people and they don't understand us. Okay, now I love everybody. I'm not racist. I have nothing against anybody. As far as I'm concerned, this is everybody's history, but we must understand and we must start to learn to respect black people. I know a lot of you don't like that term, but I like the word black because melanin has carbon in it and carbon is black. When you look up in the sky and you see the carbon gases and you see how dark it is, it's just carbon gas. Okay, we're black people. Black is very powerful. Okay, but anyway, as I'm saying, other races must learn to respect us, but I don't really care. I'm not going to focus on them giving us respect. I'm just focused on my people, on my brethren, on my brothers and sisters, because their blood runs through my veins. Okay, so first and foremost, they're my priority and concern. But I know that every other race can learn from what I'm sharing and speaking of. Now it brings us to the next topic of mind control. Okay, we've been battling a spiritual war for decades now. Truth is classified, and America wants space in people's heads. This country was founded by conquerors and barbarians. Nothing much has changed. Our consciousness has been tempered with by technology that's right in front of our faces. Like when we talk about cell towers and different kinds of radio waves and technology of that sort and kind. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of MK Ultra. Right, it was a mind control experiment done by the CIA, done on innocent people. They've been practicing forms of mind control. They've been trying to put a lock on people's consciousness through our food, through our music, through, again, all of the devices that we can't keep our hands off of. They've been trying to put a lock on our consciousness, okay? Some of the technology is in front of our face, and then there's also technology which we haven't even heard of yet, okay? The most effective form of mind control which is being exercised is psychological. Consumerism and capitalism has been the main plagues keeping most people in low states of consciousness. The truth is the system has become God for most people, right? Most people can't go a day without thinking, how I'm going to make this money today. They don't even care what's going on with their body. They don't care about their health. Their health can be failing. They don't care. They're just like a rat chasing cheese, right? They're trapped. A lot of people trapped. They don't know another way out because they don't understand how powerful they are. They don't understand their manifesting abilities. This happened to me time and time again, where I've owed money for bills, and those bills just disappear. Literally, they just disappear. One time I owed probably over $200 for my license. I had to pay on my license for a ticket. And when I went to go figure out how much I had to pay, like months later, they told me they don't see anything. This happened to me over and over again with court cases when I was supposed to get in trouble. They tell me they can't find the record of what I was accused of doing. This has happened to me time and time again, and my mom will always ask me, "What God are you praying to?" But the thing is because in my heart I know I'm a genuine person. I don't do anything to harm anybody. Me and God is like this. I pray to God every single morning because I understand who I am. I understand what I'm capable of. I know God will move things around for me. I know my ancestors will move things around for me. And because I walk around with this mindset, the universe has no choice but to respond to me. A lot of you guys, again, you guys are walking around and you don't know how powerful you are. You guys walk around half asleep. Because like I said, the way that the system is keeping a lot of our consciousness, a lot of people's consciousness on lock is, again, psychological warfare, or what we call spiritual warfare. A lot of people, they don't have any self-control when it comes to foods because there's so much salt and sugar in the food, they can't help themselves. Okay? Right? And when it comes to staying off the media, can't stay off the media because you always feel like you have to be updated with other people's life. That is psychological warfare. That is spiritual warfare. Okay? And that is keeping you stuck, stagnant. That is keeping you from connecting with your higher self, with God, with your ancestors. And once you are sick and tired, you'll make those changes so that way you can bring out the best potential in yourself. Not just for you, but for others. Let's move on. Why is God painted as the devil? Many people has no idea who the devil truly is. As I have already mentioned in my last presentation, Satan, or the serpent, is the reptile being who created bioengineered man. The serpent is actually benevolent. In every account which is older than Genesis, than the Bible, the Torah, the reptile god actually is our savior and sustainer. This is who Baphomet represents, the benevolent creators who brought advancements to mankind. The etymology of Lucifer is light. Lucifer is the light bearer, associated with the planet Venus. The 5-point star is symbolic of the holy name of God, Yahweh. 5 letters make up the Hebrew name, Yahweh. Aleph, which is silent, Yod, He, Va or Wa, and He. These 5 letters are symbolic of the 5 elements: spirit, water, fire, air, and earth. Okay, so basically, when we go back to this image right here, right, you see Baphomet. Matter of fact, let me pull up a clear image of Baphomet, right? Very symbolic. Very, very symbolic. Now, I just want to say that Baphomet is a Greek rendering of Satan, okay? Because Baphomet is actually designed after Baal, which was a Phoenician god or Canaanite god, okay? And you will find that our ancestors in Africa, they still wear these helmets with horns on them today. I'll show you guys in a second. right? They still practice voodoo. The 5-point star is associated with the Wicca star. Wicca or witchcraft is what our ancestors have been practicing for forever. Again, magic, voodoo, that is us. We've always been doing that. We've always been connected with nature, with the elements. We've always been connected with our ancestors, with spirits, with deities. We've always been doing that. Nothing about that is evil. They turned us away from that because, again, the people who turned us away from that cannot understand us. They cannot understand the pyramids that we build. They cannot understand the temples that we build. They cannot understand our culture and our way of life because they're unqualified. They're not capable. Our biology is different than theirs. We are much more intelligent. And this is not to put anybody down. This, if you want to be technical, this is scientifical, right? The same science which they use to try and understand this is the same science that, again, is contradicting that, okay? But that's a whole nother presentation for another time, breaking down the black man's biology. But anyway, if you look at the caduceus on Baphomet, the caduceus is a symbol of healing, which is why it's the system which we see in the medical system today. The serpent has always been the bearer of knowledge in every tradition. In Greek tradition, Asclepius, and Mercury, who is just Hermes Trismegistus or Thoth, holds the caduceus. Thoth has hold the caduceus. It actually came from Egypt. He holds 2 rods with serpents intertwined. Nagas in Hinduism are bearers. They hold secret teachings. And they dwell in the underworld. And they are the guardians of riches. They guard sacred sites and whatnot. In China, Nuo and Fuxi, the serpent twins, they bless the Chinese people with their language system and all of the arts of civilization. In North America, the Mississippian twins, the Hero twins, who basically paved the way for mankind. You'll see that they have serpent tails intertwined. Same thing in Mesoamerica. You'll find it on every single continent. The serpent is benevolent. Satan, Baphomet, whatever you want to call him, is benevolent. We have just been, again, especially the black man, we have been turned away. We have been turned to believe that we are evil. When we look at these things and we call these things evil, we are calling ourselves evil because that is our ancestry. That is our past. That is what our ancestors practiced. You guys fail to realize that. A lot of you. And you guys don't have no sense of independent thinking or critical thinking. Because people tell y'all what to believe, y'all go ahead and run with it. Satan's evil. Satan's the devil. Stay away from that. Don't question it. See what I'm saying? No independent thinking. And then you will see that Lucifer has breasts because Lucifer is actually a woman associated with the planet Venus. If we look at Quetzalcoatl, right, or Kukulkan, the Mayan and Aztec serpent god, which is associated with the planet Venus, Lucifer, the name of Lucifer is called, the meaning of it is light. Lucifer is called the morning star. The morning star is Venus. And Venus is a woman. It's Aphrodite, I believe, to the Greek. And Venus is the Roman rendering. Okay? And in Sumeria, it's Ishtar or Inanna. Okay? Lucifer has always been associated with the feminine principle. The principle inside of us, the ability that allows us our mystic side. That is why it's esoteric. It's hidden. It's occult. Okay? Because it is our again, our mystic abilities, our psychic abilities. That's also what Lucifer represents. And also, it's Lucifer, again, is the healer. So on my mushroom trips, I've been taking mushrooms for the past couple of days. And I've been like, all of my trips start basically the same way. I'm frustrated, I'm upset. And when I meditate, I would see things that I thought was evil, and I'm thinking I'm being deceived or tricked. Seeing Baphomet, right? I'm seeing these like reptile eyes and everything. And this is what led me to the realizations that I had. I told you guys I don't research any of this stuff. All this stuff comes to me. And so, but at the end of my a trip that I went on 2 days ago, I realized that basically when we see the darkness of Baphomet, of Lucifer, for one, we must understand that darkness is inside of ourselves. We all have the potential to do really good things and really bad things. I know some of you guys have been to some really dark places, but you have to go to those dark places so you can understand the darkness in others and transmute it to light. That's what Baphomet does. That is magic. That is alchemy. Transmutation. Turning silver into gold. Again, the people who judge these things, they can't understand that. Okay? Lucifer represents the feminine principle. I think I went a little bit ahead of myself. I think that may have been for the next slide, but I had to clarify that. Now I will show you guys. See if I can find the culture, the African ethnic group that wears these helmet. Here we go. I don't know exactly what these people call themselves, but you will see them wearing these helmets with horns on them. A lot of people associate it with the Vikings, but it actually isn't associated with Vikings. It's associated with Africans, with the Phoenician people. The Phoenician people wore it for ritual purposes. But again, because they worship the god Baphomet or Baal, right? Which I just showed you guys. So you guys see, like I said, it's all there. It's all there. You just got to be inquisitive. And so they painted God. They painted the actual God, right? Baphomet represents, or Satan represents the serpent. The serpent or reptile beings created man in every culture. That is actually God. But they made us think that God is the devil. That's how you confuse people. You twist things around. You see what I'm saying? The name of the Almighty, of who some people believe is God, Yahweh, right? The Hebrew name of that God, like I said, it's 5 letters, which associates with the 5-pointed star. Aleph. Aleph is silent. It represents the element of spirit. Yod, He, Fa, He represents the other 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and air. That, again, is magic. That is the 5-point star of Baphomet or Baal. Because Baphomet is God, who they call Baphomet. Again, that's the Greek rendering. That is not what I'm pretty sure our ancestors called this God. I actually resonate with the name Yahweh more. Okay? And you will also see these 5 primordial elements. You'll find it in Buddhism. It's called the 5 primordial Buddhas. Primordial Buddhas. Again, you'll find our culture all around the world, everywhere. Okay, there's 5 primordial Buddhas in the middle. That's the spirit or energy, right? And then you have fire, air, earth, and water. Okay. It's a lot more spiritual and benevolent than a lot of people paint it out to be. But of course, what you use for good, you can use for bad. And that's what has happened. A lot of this stuff has been used for evil things. Even today, by the system, it's being used for evil things. You know, because they use magic. If you look at the words, right? Program. When you watch a program on a TV, right? Or you change the channel, you're channeling. You see what I'm saying? Or the cast in a movie, right? Cast a spell. Or when you spelling out words, because words are spells. You see what I'm saying? They use all of these things, but a lot of people just can't read between the lines. And it's very frustrating sometimes because those are the same people that will argue and tell you that everything is evil. They don't see the evil in them, nor do they accept it. They only accept what they feel like the almighty benevolent God will accept. Yet God created everything, evil and good. But yet they don't want to accept that part and aspect of God. Nor do they understand, again, the rich history of themselves, a lot of them. Anyway, moving forward onto the last slide, the feminine principle. First of all, Lucifer is actually a woman and not a man. We spoke about this. Last slide, I'll be moving too fast sometimes. This feminine principle is all about anarchy and order, again, because darkness creates light. The purpose is to transmute our darkness into light. Every powerful healer must face adversity early on to understand their inner darkness or to become a powerful healer, which allows them to transmute the inner darkness of others. This is the practice of alchemy, working with the forces of nature. This is why the five-pointed star is also the wicked star. This is why Baphomet can be seen holding the caduceus, which is a symbol of medicine. This is the culture of the black man, which we just have been turned away from, okay? So I laid it all out there for you guys. I showed you guys that everything isn't as it seemed and things are backwards, okay? The history that is taught to you in school, throw it out, okay? Because it is not accurate, okay? It's fact, but not truth. So that is all I have for you guys today. Of course, you know I'll be back very soon with another one. As this information is channeled to me, I will channel it to you guys as well. Share this video with a loved one, with someone that you know. Maybe it will open up their mind, hopefully. Okay, like this video, comment, and subscribe, okay, to help the algorithm. And if you want to keep in tune with the more, because I make a lot of videos and it's easier for me to make short form content and make a lot of them, you can watch my YouTube shorts, or you can follow me on TikTok, The Cosmic Magician, I believe, or The Cosmic Professor. I'll leave it in the description box below. All right. I love you guys. Shalom.